1 second, let me make sure we're good in the group. Apologize about the late start today. I totally was working on some funnels and just totally spaced it. Today we're going to get into Sodom and Gomorrah, which is pretty exciting. Let me get this going real quick here. Sorry about the delay. I can't believe I spaced it like that. My mistake. I can't believe it. But yep, so we're going to be reading into Sodom and Gomorrah today. It's going to be super exciting. 1 second while I get everything finished up for the group. So that's ready to go. All right. Looks good. We're live now. All right. And group should be live. There we go. Go live. All right. Looks good. What's up, buddy? Happy Saturday. Sorry about the delay. That won't happen again. I can't believe that happened. So anyway, so we're on chapter 19 now. And we're live. So Sodom's depravity. Chapter 19. Now the two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, and he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. Remember, this is Abraham had been making his deal with the Lord that if he could find just 10 men, that he would spare Sodom. So Hear now, my lord, please turn in your servant's house and spend the night. Turn, my lord, please turn in your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise early and go on your way. And they said, no, but we will spend the night in the open square. But he insisted strongly, so they turned to him and entered his house. Then he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. And now before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both old and young, and all the people from every quarter surrounded the house. They called Lot and said to him, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know them carnally. Really? Carnally? Really? That's what it's saying? C-A-R-N-A-L, carnally? Okay. So Lot went out to them and brought the doorway, went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind him, and said, please, my brethren, do not do so wickedly. See now, I have two daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do with them as you wish. Wow. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason they have come under the roof, under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. They then said, this one came in to stay here, and he kept acting like a judge. Now we dealt worse with judge. Now we will deal worse with you than them. So they pressed hard. Died for some reason anyway. So they pressed hard against the man Lot and came near the breakdown of the door. The man reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so they would become weary towards finding the door. Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. Then the man said to Lot, have you anyone else here? Son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whoever else you have in the city, take them out of this place. For we will destroy this place because the outcry against them has grown great. For the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-laws and who married his daughters and said, get up and get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. Both to his son-in-law he seemed to be joking. When the morning dawned and the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, arise, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, lest be consumed in punishment of the city. And while he lingered, the men took hold of his hand and his wife's hand and the hands of his two daughters, and the Lord being merciful to him, and they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside, that the Lord that he said, "Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed." Then Lot said to them, "Please, no, my lords. Indeed, now your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy, which has shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and I die. See now, this city is near enough. See, see now, this city is near enough to flee to, and is a little one. Please let me escape there. Uh, this is not a little one, and my soul shall live." And he said to them, "See, I have favored you concerning this thing also, in that I will not overthrow the city for which you have spoken. Hurry, escape then, for I cannot do anything until you have arrived." Therefore, the name of the city was Zor. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zor. The Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, all the plains, all the inhabitants of the city, and what grew on the ground. With his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Wow. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Wow. So just looking back, he said, "Don't look back, keep going." And now she looked back, Sarah, and was destroyed, turned to a pillar of salt. Very interesting. I think that's crazy that the people came out and these guys were there to judge them, and they were like, "Hey, we want to have carnal knowledge." And from my understanding, carnal knowledge, that means sex. So they wanted to have sex with these guys, and that was the reason they were being, um, judged in the first place. So I guess they just proved even more that they needed to be judged like that. Wow, that's wild. And then she turned to salt, and Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. He looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward the land of the plains, and saw, and behold, the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of the furnace. And became to pass that God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out in the midst to overthrow. He overthrew the city which Lot had dwelt. The descendants of Lot. Then Lot went out to Zor and dwelt in the mountains, and his two daughters were with him, for he was afraid to dwell in Zor. And he and his two daughters dwelt in a cave. Now the firstborn said to be younger. Now the firstborn said to be the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come in to us as the custom of all earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, so that we may preserve the lineage of our father." What the heck are you talking about? Wow. So they had not gotten pregnant yet, and they wanted to get pregnant, and they want to maintain their lineage, so they're getting their father drunk so they can sleep with him to get pregnant? Wow. It happened on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger, "Indeed, I laid with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight also, and you will go in and lay with him, and may we preserve the lineage of our father." Then they made their father drink wine that night, and the younger arose and laid with him, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son and called his name Moab. He is the father of Moabites up to this day. And younger, she also bore a son and called him Ben-Ami. This is the father of the people Ammon of this day. Holy man. Like, that's just crazy. Like, because I've been really drunk before, like super, super drunk to where I blacked out. And I still remember bits and pieces of stuff to some degree. So to think they could get their dad drunk, he could sleep with his daughters and just be like, "Oh man, I was drunk the next day. I don't remember or anything." That's just wow. Or I guess back then maybe, incest was, or, that was not as poorly looked upon. Wow, that's just wild. Abraham journeyed there to the south and dwelt with Kadesh in Sur and stayed in Gerar. And now Abraham said to Sarah his wife, "She is my sister," and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, "Indeed, you are a dead man because of this woman who you have taken, for she is a man's wife." But Abimelech did not come near her, and he said, "Lord, will you slay a righteous nation also? Did he not say to me, she is my sister?" And she went. Then she said to herself, "He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands, I've done this." And the Lord said to him in a dream, "Yes, I know you did this to integrity of your heart, for I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore, I will not let you touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not restore her now, you shall surely die, and all who are yours." So Abimelech rose early in the morning, called all his servants, and told them all the things in their hearing. And the men were very much afraid. And Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done? What have you done to us? How have I offended you, that you have brought onto me and my kingdom a sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to be done." Then Abimelech said to Abraham, "What did you have in view that you have done such a thing?" Abraham said, "Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will kill him on the account of my wife. But indeed, she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it became to pass that God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said to her, 'This is your kindness, and you should do for me in every place, wherever we go, say of me, he is my brother.' Then Abimelech took sheep, oxen, male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and he restored Sarah's wife to him. And Abimelech said, 'See, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you.' Then to Sarah he said, 'Behold, I've given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Indeed, this vindicates you before all who are with you and before everybody.' Thus she was rebuked. So Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech's wife and his female servants, and then they bore children. For the Lord closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife." Very interesting. Okay. Isaac was born, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord said to Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the set time which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, who Sarah was born to him, Isaac. Then Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when it was 8 days old, and as God had commanded him. Now Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him, and Sarah said, "God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me." She also said, "Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I am born him a son in his old age." Hagar and Ishmael depart. Or Ishmael. So the children grew and was weaned, and Abraham had a great feast in the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom he had borne to Abraham, scoffing. Therefore she said to Abraham, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, namely with Isaac." And the matter was very displeasing in Abraham's sight because of his son. But God said to Abraham, "Do not let it be displeasing in your sight because of the lad or because of the bondwoman. Whatever Sarah said to you, listen to her voice, for in Isaac your seed shall be called. Yet I will also make a nation of the son of the bondwoman, because he is your seed. So Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water and put it on her shoulder and gave it to the boy to Hagar and sent her away. Then she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba, and the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. Then she went and sat down across him in a distance from about a bow shot. For she said to herself, "Let me not see the death of my boy." So she sat opposite him and lifted her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and then the angel of God called to Hagar out of the heavens and said to her, "What ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard your voice and of the lad. Where is he? Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him with your hand, for I will make him a great nation." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled her skin with water and gave the lad a drink. So God was with the lad, and he grew up and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. A covenant with Abimelech. These names. And so it came to pass that Abimelech and Phishol, the commander of the army, spoke with Abraham and said, "God is with you in all you do. Now therefore swear to me that by God, that you will not deal falsely with me, with my offspring, or with my posterity, but according to the kindness that I've done to you, and you will do to me in the land in which you have dwelt." And Abraham said, "I swear." And when Abraham rebuked Abimelech because of the well of water which Abimelech's servants have seized, and Abimelech said, "I do not know who has done this thing. You did not tell me, nor had heard of it until this day." So Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 hued lambs of the flock by themselves. Then Abimelech said to Abraham, "What is the meaning of these 7 hued lambs which you have set by themselves?" And he said, "It will take these 7 hued lambs from my hand, and they will be giving witness that I have dug this well, and therefore call this place Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath." Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. So Abimelech rose with Phicol, the commander of the Philistines, that Abraham planted a tamarisk tree at Beersheba, and they called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham stayed in the lands of the Philistines many days. Interesting. They get down pretty freaky, man. That's pretty wild. They just so openly slept with one another and things like that. It's very interesting. I don't know what to say about that, man. That's sort of weird that the 2 daughters got him drunk and slept with him so they could have continued lineage. Why is that in the Bible? You know what I mean? I understand a lot of the Old Testament is stories, and we're supposed to derive stuff from the stories, but it's just sort of interesting. I'm not sure. But anyway, thanks so much for today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Today was rather quick. But I will be on top of it tomorrow. Let me check, make sure nothing in chat. Thanks everybody for watching. Today was rather quick. We'll jump into